All right. Wow. It looks like it is live. So I will get the name updated. And this is going to be part two of the earlier schedule review. And it's also, this is from Zoom. So anyone who wants to join on camera is welcome to join in. The link is in the Telegram. And you will also schedule review. Okay. So let me make sure I update the live. Okay, perfect. This is going to be called HDHD 2025 schedule review continued. Okay, I think I just updated it, so we should be in good shape. All right, so I think I'm just going to continue on with the schedule, and I can share. I should have just done this earlier. I can share my screen this way. So I'm going to go ahead and share schedule. If you weren't watching earlier, the schedule is live on highdeserthumandesign.com. You just go to highdeserthumandesign.com, click HDHD 2025, and then scroll down and you will be on the schedule. This is starting with day two of the conference. I see Moniste has joined. Hi, Moniste. I'm gonna make sure. Oh, okay. Maybe that was on the YouTube live. I'm not sure. I tried to oh, she joined the schedule. I see. One of the funny things is when you're on the schedule, because it's on Canva, it shows you when people join, meaning they're viewing it. So, okay. So false alarm, just me on the Zoom. Okay, yeah, and I'm going to make sure also that everybody has the link. They do. And yeah, I think we are good. We will be doing more Zooms in the coming days. Just kind of have office hours, chance for people to talk, get to know each other, any questions that come up. So, okay, so now we're starting at day two of the conference. If you want to see the review from earlier in the conference, I did the pre-conference in day one earlier today on my YouTube, and then I did all 5 days over on Instagram on an Instagram live. But basically, I'm just going to be reading through and just talking about some of the things going on at the conference this year. So, day two of the conference, we have that. This is Thursday, September 18th, a special event, a cacao journey at Star Dreaming here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, guided by Maggie Batista. Um, do note that this event costs $66. This is one of the very few paid events that we have. Normally, your HDHD ticket includes everything, but this is a paid event due to the cost of materials and also the location, which is some of the money goes to the artist. And this is RSVP required, limited capacity. Please RSVP at maggiebatista.com. In her shop, she has Cacao Journey, New Mexico. And that's how you can confirm that. We will be departing from Better Day Coffee at 905 West Alameda at 10 a.m. If you're driving separately, you can just meet at Star Dreaming, and that's the address for Star Dreaming, 38 Southern Exposure. Please refrain from food, caffeine, or any intoxicants for the ceremony. On Thursday, September 18th, also for Ix in the Mayan sacred calendar, Maggie will guide you through a sacred cacao journey to commune with the earth, your ancestors, and the wisdom of your soul. Under the shade of the Celestorium on the sacred lands at Star Dreaming, you'll participate in an invocation and communion with ceremonial cacao, a beverage prepared just for you with intention, love, and the energy to activate your alignment to your soul. In Mayan cosmology, Ix is the energy of cacao itself, as well as the jaguar spirit that guards the earth, its altars and shrines, as well as harmony with the divine feminine. Maggie's received the permissions necessary by a council of spiritual leaders to hold cacao rituals with the elements of the Maya tradition and will invoke those energies to support our collective expansion. Cacao tastes like rich, creamy hot chocolate and it has been cultivated by the Mayans for centuries. It is quite powerful as it stimulates the central nervous system, relaxes smooth muscles, and dilates blood vessels, sending more oxygen toward the heart. Consumed in ceremonial dosages with intention, cacao offers healing, transformation, and expansion. Star dreaming, there's a link here that you can go to, is a sacred site created by visionary artist James Jareb, and it consists of 16 open-air temples and labyrinths built with over 800 tons of stones. There's nothing like star dreaming anywhere in the world. It's located 35 minutes outside of Santa Fe. Your ticket includes admission to star dreaming, so dress comfortably as you may explore the grounds before or after the journey. And there's really no time limit on that. You can basically just stay there all day if you want. You could stay there and then come back and catch one of the 2 p.m. talks, stay and come back from one of the 4 p.m. talks, or just come back for the evening. Um, it's a really cool place. I'm going to show the website a little bit. So it says here, Sacred Site of New Earth. Let me make this a little bit larger here. And so this is Star Dreaming. It's a lot of temples, but the temples are mainly kind of flat like this, more like labyrinths, and then there'll be a few standing stones. It definitely feels like a portal place. I will say, I mean, yeah, this is it from above. Being there, I never really understood what portals were about. People would always say, oh, Taos is a portal, or this, Mount Shasta is a portal. And someone made a painting of Star Dreaming that really showed it. And what it was people at Star Dreaming kind of in ceremony, and then these portals opening up, and all of this like music and paintings and ideas and concepts and all these things just rushing in through the portals. And so it gave me a different perspective. Like, what if metaphysically the portal is how the new consciousness emerges into our consciousness? Like, it's kind of an interesting idea. Like, I'm a musician, I make a lot of music, I write. Where do those ideas come from? Well, normally I just, I get them in dreams or my imagination or just thinking about stuff. But what if going to a portal place, I'm actually opening myself up to a higher level of communication from the collective unconscious in some sense? And so when I first went there last year, which was September 25th last year on my birthday, um, that was my first time there. And I've been hearing about it for years and having, mutual friends with the artist and all these things. And I finally went there and it was very interesting energy. It felt very alive. And I had a friend I was with who did an oracle card reading with the deck that she'd created actually. And she got animism with one of the cards she got, which means sort of the place is alive with a spirit. Like if you look at a lot of traditional feng shui, not modern feng shui, but traditional, a lot of it, it's not compass school, it's the other school. I forget what it's called, but it's like the school of, it's basically more like geomancy. And so looking at like hills and mountains and rivers and features and rocks, that's very animistic. It's very connected to the Druids, Stonehenge, a lot of animism there. And something I felt at this place was that it was kind of like that geomantic approach of animism, where I immediately had this sense that like the environment itself was sort of alive, and you get that kind of apophenia, effect where of seeing faces in clouds or seeing faces in mountains or trees. And it was interesting because talking to the artist James Jareb, he said a very similar thing. Basically, he believes these are two. I can't really highlight it, but on one side of this, the top left of this picture, and then on the bottom right, he kind of sees these as two dragons. That there's these hills that look like dragons, kind of. So really interesting stuff. But yeah, so animism was one of the cards, and then I think one of the others was portal, which was like very obvious that it's a portal. Um, Divine feminine was one of the cards in the oracle reading, and then Christ consciousness. So these were the four cards we got, I think. Um, but it does feel animistic. I went to open the door to Star Dreaming, like the gate, and a gust of wind blew the door open. So like I wasn't able to get it because it's just like the door just opened up. James Jareb is also a really talented painter. You can see his paintings there. These are huge. Well, 48 by 84. Yeah, that's pretty tall. So these are big, big paintings that he makes. And he will often sell these paintings, and they're not cheap. They're like 15 grand or something. Last time my friend went, the friend she bought a painting for 5 grand, which was smaller, but they're very expensive. But then what happens is, oh yes, I think Stargate was the card. Sorry, the cards, I was saying Portal, but cards we got were Animism, Stargate, Sacred Feminine, Christ Consciousness. So it's very much a Stargate place. But anyway, well, people will buy these like for healing, and they will basically own them for a period of time, and then they will donate them back to James Jareb, the artist, and he'll sell them again. So these are supposedly like healing paintings that he's made that include mystical symbols and yeah, a lot of connection to ascended masters. I mean, some of the temples are for ascended masters. Um, yeah, you also got really into crystal skulls. So just some interesting stuff there. I definitely recommend going. As I said, you can get your ticket included in this $66 fee. Or if you can't go Thursday, I think a lot of other people, well, one other person said Friday, and then maybe a few other people are considering Monday, like if they're sticking around in Santa Fe for an extra day. And we just have to arrange with the artist and make sure he's okay with drop-ins. He usually is. There's no real official procedure. For a while, he had a thing on his website where you could send him a message and he'd get back to you. But if you do want to visit, it should be fine. And yeah, he normally charges $33 just to visit the grounds. So yeah, this is Maggie Batista. She'll be leading the cacao ceremony. I think that's really, that's the best option to go. But then if you can't make that for some reason, maybe you want to catch something else going on, you can always go the following day or the Monday, the 22nd. So that morning, we have a special morning session. This is Ryan Glassmoyer, Saturn and Neptune across the 0 point, when material structure is rebuilt through spiritual oneness. And this is actually at Better Day Coffee from 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. And you'll see that leaving Better Day at 10 a.m. for the cacao ceremony. So if you're going to the cacao ceremony, go to Better Day early, get to see the talk. And then at 9:30, the talk is over, there's a short break, and then people leave at 10. And the talk might go a little long too. It's only set for an hour. Usually talks go a little over an hour. And they might start a little late as well. Or you can always go that and then do that and then go on to one of the other workshops. That's why we had it end at 9:30 because the other workshops start at 10. And they might start a few minutes late as well. Usually if it says 10, people kind of shuffle in and get seated and it starts around 10:15. I mean, my workshops, I start right on time because this is like one of my pet peeves is like trying to get people to be on time. But I know from experience, it's flexible. Can't be too strict about that. Ryan Glassmoyer is an executive coach to founders, an intuitive astrologer, and longtime HDHD friend. She will be presenting an interactive workshop on the current movement of Saturn and Neptune through the 0 point of the zodiac, illuminating how to work with these energies in your own chart for a quantum leap in material and spiritual evolution, helping you understand the unique power of this transit to accelerate your grounded spiritual ascension. Saturn and Neptune work together, and they want to make your material reality more imbued with spiritual, creative, and underlying potential than ever before. If you're interested in quantum physics, transformation mindsets, releasing outdated paradigms, and claiming your destiny, this event is for you. It's an interactive workshop integrating astrology and human design. Please bring your astrology chart. I'm actually going to send that to Ray because I think he was just talking about that, and he's going to really like it. And that is Thursday, September 18th. Thursday, September 18th. Yeah. And that's with Ryan Glassmoyer. And then we have a number of workshops from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Here are the workshops available for day 2. We start earlier on the second day, 10 a.m., although special 8:30. Well, whatever. I'll just leave that. Okay. Although for those who cannot make that time, there are a few workshop series where you could join later in the day, such as Matt Conley and Christy Sullivan workshops. Okay, for multi-workshop series, you can expect the second workshop to begin after lunch, likely at 1 p.m., although it's at the discretion of the facilitators. Note that some workshops will be repeated on other days, giving you the choice of what day to attend. I'm going to remove that because that's pretty self-evident. Tighten it up a little bit. Okay, yeah, just make this a little shorter. So I am doing my big cult talk that day. I'm going to repeat that talk just so people have a chance if they want to. But this is Thursday, 10 a.m. I will be doing the human design cult and analysis using the BITE model. And then after lunch, an introduction to attitudinal psyche for human design practitioners. And that's going to be at my home right here in this room where I am right now. So I will present on cultic tendencies in human design using the BITE model for authoritarian control, developed by Dr. Stephen Hassan. This model looks at various forms of control in cultic groups, just making sure nobody else joined, and cultic belief systems. So behavior control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. BITE, behavior, information, thought, emotion. So these four different areas where cults and cultic groups and belief systems, they get you to control your behavior or they control your behavior. There's information control. Nobody, like everything's secretive and everything's shrouded in secrecy, and you don't really know. It's kind of for, human design perspective, that would be like the manifestor who doesn't inform. We'd often say in human design, that's like the old seven-centered way where not informing is sort of how to maintain power. So information control, kind of like information warfare. Thought control, which is really interesting because that can actually be like using thought stopping techniques. That one's really crazy. I can't wait to talk about thought control with people. And emotional control. And then the description continues. I invite attendees to reflect on their own experiences with these forms of control, and I'll open a space for discussion where all views are welcomed and respected. So I might talk about where I've experienced thought control in human design communities. Somebody else might come along and say, Jonah, I think you're wrong. And respectfully, I respect your opinion, but I have a very different view and I want to share it. And I'm here to listen to that as well. So I'm not telling people what they believe or anything like that. I'm sharing my experience of some of these forms of control. After a break, I will return for a brief introduction to the attitudinal psyche system aimed at human design practitioners. Attitudinal psyche is a fresh take on personality typology founded by Rob Zeke Colopy in the late 2010s. This workshop will include hands-on type self-assessment using the system. Yeah, so a little bit. So that's what I'm going to be doing 10 to 5 here. So you could go to Ryan's thing and then go on to the cacao, or Ryan's thing and then come back here. Or if you're sleeping in or you're not up at that time, just come here if you're interested in those topics. Then over at Vital Spaces Annex Gallery, we have a workshop series with Orion Ohev. I'm going to go ahead and put back the share the screen again. Okay, and this is with Orion Ohev and Merit Wuchina. And this is so for the first one, we're going to have Orion. This is 10 to 4. I think he's probably going to go like 10 to noon. And then I don't know if Merritt's going to do 1 to 4. I kind of feel like Orion might even just do 10 to 1 and Merritt might do 2 to 4. But at the same time, she has a lot of material to cover too. I don't think the 4 p.m. end time is firm. I think people could stay till 5. So I'm going to encourage each of the speakers to fill up 3 hours if they want. They can do a break halfway through. That's a lot more leisurely to me than trying to cram everything into a smaller, shorter time frame. We really gave people a lot of time this year. So yeah, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is 6 hours. It could probably go to 5. I really don't think they're going to kick us out right on the dot. It's not like they have anything going on in the evening there. And so this is, Orion Ohev, Chinese medicine, Qigong, and the hexagrams of the I Ching. And then a second workshop by Merit Wuchina, Human Design Meets Social Presencing Theater. So first, for Orion's, the way it's described, so he's presenting on the Chinese hexagrams using a movement-based approach in an interactive workshop. Well, I can say that I got a sneak preview of a version of this talk in June, as the attendees of the June retreat did. And it was really, really good. And one of my favorite things of like the year. So I really hope it gets recorded so that people miss it can at least see the talk. Some of it don't really make sense to record because it's going to be more interactive and conversational and group discussion, more of a workshop, right? So, but if he does repeat the lecture format, I'm hoping that somebody records that to share with people who didn't have a chance to be there. Of course, we always respect the speaker's wishes. People have asked about recording, and I always just encourage it. And if somebody says, please don't, then that's fine. But we do have, where's the speaker agreement? We have a speaker agreement. It's in the Google Drive. But anyway, it basically does allow people to record. So, but again, we always honor the speaker's wishes in that regard. I'd be pretty hypocritical talking about high control cult groups and like forcing people to do stuff. And then I'd be like, and by the way, I'm going to go against your wishes and, do all these things. I would say it's a custom to record lectures, and we usually don't record workshop portions. And that's just been for 5 years now. That's how we've done it. And that is in the speaker agreement. It gives us the right to do that. But again, if a speaker doesn't want to be recorded, we honor it. Okay, so Orion doing Chinese medicine, Qigong, hexagrams of the I Ching. So this was a really cool talk. I don't want to spoil it. I just want to get people hyped for it because to me it was so fascinating, some of what Orion was doing, because he would have us connect to hexagrams of the I Ching, not through the yin and yang chops of the I Ching, but through the mythology behind it. So you've heard all these names like 57, the gentle, or 10, treading on the tail of the tiger, or 54, the marrying maiden. And these are like stories behind them. And they're not just the story of the name, it's like the story of the Chinese character. So the character may have like a guy by the river with an axe, and he might be cutting something. And it's like that story. There could be a cave, there could be a river flowing out of the mouth of a cave. Those images are in the basically in the Chinese character, not in the hexagram, not in the lines of the hexagram, but the Chinese character. And so what Orion will do is work with people to show them characters, tell the story, get into the mythology of it, and then ask where we feel that in our body, and then sort of connect to that energy without knowing where it is in the body graph, which is interesting because it's almost like the power of suggestion. If you're told gate 12 is in the throat, you might feel it in your throat. But if you're just described gate 12, you might feel it in your stomach, or you might feel it in your forehead or your pinkies, or who knows what. So that's really interesting. And he also has a whole talk that accompanies that I don't want to spoil. And he'll be doing qigong with people. But yeah, in his talk and his slides, he relates a lot of human design body graph channels to energy meridians as used in acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. And it's just really cool stuff. Orion is a PTL4 trained human design analyst, certified medical Qigong practitioner, and executive coach focused on personal leadership, team dynamics, and strategic foresight. He bridges ancient wisdom with emerging technology to support the evolution of human leadership. With over 550 human design readings delivered, his work lives at the intersection of human design, traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, and strategic foresight, bringing a somatic organ level awareness to the human design chart, inviting people into a direct relationship with their energetic bodies, and offering tools to support nervous system regulation, deconditioning, and vitality. So that's going to be the earlier one. And then we have merit in the afternoon, probably starting at 2, I would guess. And this might just be 2 to 5. I mean, I'm not exactly sure. I kind of leave it up to the speakers to how they want to do it. Merit in her own words. I met human design in 2019 in a Trillium Awakening Women's Circle, where I first learned the term projector. This information certainly changed my life. Since then, I've been investigating the ecology of practices in the field of systems change. What is a system? How does my role in a system involve everything from stuckness to transformation, mutation, and evolution? These questions drive my passion for human design, as well as many other holing processes or practices. A reference, something that Jung liked to point out is the etymology of the word heal. Like to heal is to become whole. Whole and heal have the same. So healing is holing. It's becoming whole again. So she refers to these holing practices. How will we, those in this experiment, continue to develop our uniqueness and our capacity to condition the cosmos through awareness on behalf of our own future and those of our future ancestors? That's what a cool idea. I love that. Signed Merit 5-1 self-projected projector. Yeah, future ancestors, us conditioning the cosmos, not it conditioning us. I love it. This is very much where my head's at in these matters. So now she's presenting Human Design Meets Social Presencing Theater. And she also has a second talk on warm data. Merritt's doing some very interesting talks this year, and I really hope those get recorded too, because I'm going to be doing my talk at the same time. Many of us who come to human design find ourselves falling in love with the art of mastering systems and understanding how the individual, collective, and tribal circuits of our own being work at deeper layers of reality. We can look at a system as an individual and his or her interiors, as well as the dynamics between a couple, a team, such as the Penta, or a larger organization, such as a WA. So yeah, very, very interesting ideas here. I love these kind of different levels we can look at. Social presencing theater is a practice for mapping systems using the wisdom of the body to reach a state of individual and collective coherence within the social field. It is not theater in the traditional sense, but rather a way to use the body to directly access our intuition, or perhaps better stated in the language of human design, the inner authority. In the practice of social presencing theater, we will make visible both current realities and often invisible leverage points of creating profound change. Let us see how this practice can help us more deeply embody the changing of the keys within each of us as we transition from the cross to planning to the cross to the sleeping phoenix. So this will also be related to 2027. The facilitators will introduce the group to practices such as, I'm going to share this again because I thought this was cool, just showing some of what's going to be in this workshop. A 20-minute dance, mindfulness of body practice, a stuck exercise, moving from current reality to the emergent future, where we're stuck, the duet, explorative dance in pairs, the village, spontaneous whole group co-creation, and 4D mapping, making visible the current reality of a social system and how sensing and knowing can lead to fresh outcomes. So there's a link to learn more about social presencing theater, applying collective creative processes to uncover new possibilities that transform individuals, groups, and systems. Um, yeah, so looks like a very interesting practice. These are some of the practices: 4D mapping, stuck exercise. Um, yeah, looks really cool. Some of the people in this. So I mean, I want to attend that. I don't think I'll be able to, but if I get like a low turnout or something, and then by the afternoon, if it is starting at 3 or something like that, I'll have to figure out. There's a chance I would just because I'm only a 15-minute walk from there. So if people are at mine and we've got through all the cult material and we've done a good session on AP, maybe we will just head over and catch this because it looks really, really cool. I really want to do it. Um, okay, yeah, I just want to say, yeah, I'll post. Oh, I'm going to share that with someone, but I'll share it later. Okay. So then we have another workshop series that day. This one's also looks really cool, and I really hope it's recorded. This is one that I feel like maybe the second part is going to be more interactive. The first part seems a lot more like a presentation where it would just make sense to record it. So it's a workshop series with Michael Steenbeck-Litvin and Singh doing a Rave Mandala workshop, and then Hanifa Adil using the human design ephemeris. Michael Steenbeck-Litvin and Singh will present on quarters, godheads, and the Rave Mandala. And then Hanifa is a 2-4 reflector versed in a multitude of mystical frameworks, including human design, astrology, cards of destiny, and palmistry. She's a longtime HDHD attendee who knocked everyone's socks off last year with her human design stand-up comedy. Join her for a hands-on guide on how to use the human design ephemeris for long-term transit forecasting. There's a link to see her comedy from Human Design Comedy Hour last year, and there's little pictures of Singh, Mike, and Hanifa. Then this is the last workshop series, I believe. I don't think that, yeah, well, okay, wait. The second one is going to be, this is TBD. So I'm going to actually say TBD, and we're going to figure this one out. We might combine that. So stay tuned for this day. What ends up happening is we go through the workshops and then we end up having little last minute changes, but we'll pretty much make sure that you can still like it. Some people have already printed these out. There's a printable version. We make sure there's always at least something there. So you're never going to show up at a venue and there's not going to be a workshop. It might just be a different workshop. We try to minimize that, but sometimes for whatever reason, we end up changing it and it usually works out great. Okay, so Hanifa, Mike, and Singh, they are doing, Rave Mandala and Human Design Ephemeris. And then we have a series with Anna Fink, Decrypted Conscious Crypto, 10 a.m. to noon. Leanna Conley, Sacred Plant Wisdom Integration Talk from 2 to 4. So this is the one I mentioned that could be, yeah, Leanna Conley and Christy Sullivan. Okay, yeah, so those are afternoon. Wait, I need to fix. There we go. I made a typo. No, is that right? That can't be right. Sorry, this is the detail work. Okay. I think there needs to be another. Sorry. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I spelled it wrong. Oh my God. It's been a long week and it's a little, there we go. Two E's, one N. Perfect. Great. Okay. We're all set up. That's all I had to do. Just gonna make sure I didn't spell, people don't like it when you spell their name wrong. I don't like it when people give me Noah all the time, and it's not a bad name. It's just it's not my name. So, okay. Anna Fink, Decrypted Conscious Crypto, 10 to noon. Anna Fink is a wellness architect and wealth activator. She focuses on building a foundation of radiant health and creating abundant wealth through conscious cryptocurrency investments. Speaking on bridging the new era and the new paradigm that's coming in 2027, and the moment of the phoenix rising from the ashes and the chaos that precedes the creation, excuse me, of the new. This is like, I think we're up to like 8 talks this year going into 2027, but all from different angles. And by the way, the Wednesday talk from Matthew Flasher is being replaced with a repeat of alternative views of 2027. So he's going to be giving the same lecture twice, which gives people more of a chance to catch it because there's a lot going on. I've encouraged the speakers to do talks twice if possible because it gives you more opportunity. But he has some very cool kind of his own, original research on what if there's different dates for 2027 and what if the global cycles are not what Ross said they were. And I always love any critical thinking and critical approaches like that. So yeah, decrypted conscious crypto in the morning. Then there's a long break because some people are still going to be at star dreaming and things like that. And then when they come back, we have Leanna Conley, Sacred Plant Wisdom Integration Talk, 2 to 4. Leanna Conley is a metaphysician, holistic therapist, and founder of Goddess Yoga Sanctuary in Greenbrier, Arkansas, a sacred land-based sanctuary where hearts heal, trauma alchemizes, and souls return to their original blueprint. With a bachelor's in psychology and a master's of education and doctoral studies in metaphysics, Leanna's path bridges science, spirit, and sovereignty. Her work integrates human design, Kala Tantra yoga, trauma-informed plant medicine facilitation, and energy anatomy to guide clients in rewiring their nervous systems, reclaiming their divine frequency, and embodying multidimensional wellness. With over 1,000 hours of yogic and shamanic training, Leanna offers a wide range of integrative healing modalities, including kambo, hape, and ayahuasca ceremonies, Reiki and chakra clearing, breathology, Kundalini walking massage, and soul retrieval sessions. At her donation-based sanctuary, she hosts rewilding immersions, silent retreats, and trauma-sensitive somatic rituals designed to awaken the inner healer. Her sessions are rooted in the natural laws of abundance and the metaphysical truth that we are frequency first, not form. Leanna also creates magical comfrey remedies, a potent salve line crafted from her land. So I hope she's going to be bringing some of those. We always encourage speakers, if they have anything that they sell or anything like that, or they want to share. Sometimes they give them away for raffles. A potent salve line, magical comfrey remedies crafted from her land, known for regenerating collagen, soothing pain, and accelerating skin healing. Her work reflects a deep remembrance of harmony between body, earth, and source. As a 5-1 manifesting generator, she walks the path of embodied wisdom, teaching others to exit the matrix of fear and step into sovereign, heart-led creation. And then in the later slot, I think it's 4 p.m. Yeah, so that was 2 to 4. This is 2 to 4 Thursday, September 18th at Rubedo Counseling. Thanks, Diana, for letting us use the space. Now at 4 p.m., Christy Sullivan, Stop Overworking and Start Overflowing, using human design to help your business thrive. So Christy Sullivan will lead a workshop on how understanding and honoring your unique energy can help you make simple but important shifts in your business strategy, day-to-day routine, and overall lifestyle. Attendees will receive practical tips, her system called Flow, to improve all areas of life and business, including self-care, mindset, communication, relationships, and overall abundance. So here we have Anna, there's Leanna, and there's Christy Sullivan. So then we have another workshop series. We're going to figure out exactly what the third one is here for Ray's Country Gardens. But yeah, I'm gonna be so morning session TBD. After lunch, Kalima and Joe will share what role human design has played in their relationship. Relationships in human design. Let's talk real relationships. Mothers, brothers, spouses, business partners, best friends. How is knowing HD helping you navigate your relationships in the real world? What have you found that works? What doesn't? Let's have an open discussion. And then at 3 p.m., Shay Labay, Jesse Haskins, and Hanifa Adil will do a chart riffing workshop. This is what we have to figure out because I realized I had Hanifa here, but then Hanifa's also up here. And how can she can't be in two places at once? And so this one, we may just move the chart riffing. Maybe I'll just do that now. I think the chart riffing should just be there. So I'm going to go and TBD. I'm just going to move it up. Sorry about that for everybody. It's just, oops, there we go. And yeah, I'm just going to put that up here, and I have to update it in the other one as well. Okay, I'm going to update number one, let's say 10 to 2, to the 2 p.m. 3:30, and then 4 to 6 or something. We'll have a break. Yeah, we can always, people can change this if they want. Great, that gives a little more time. And then one thing I have to always do is update. Oh yeah, sorry, you guys aren't seeing what I'm doing. You're just seeing my face. I was just making some updates on the schedule. So let me just, let's share it again. So one thing is I've been pretty diligent. If anyone finds any conflicts between or differences between the short form and the long form schedule, please tell me. I've been really diligent about anytime I change something in one, I just immediately change it in the other. That's the only way I've been able to make it work. And yeah, that's another TBD. Yeah, that one just needs to be, there we go. TBD, and then yeah, just make that smaller fit. Great. Okay. I will fix that later, but at least for now, we're in good shape. Okay, so where were we before we got off on this? View the HDHD schedule right here. Okay. And let's see what we got here. Okay, so let's get back to where we were. Covered a lot of ground. Okay, so now we have, yeah, Shay, Jesse, and Nifa also there. That should work fine. And then I just need to figure out, so this will be TBD, and stay tuned. I'll just say stay tuned for updates on this. Session and location. We moved a couple things around. Okay. So we're going to figure out exactly what's going where. Um, and then special events. Okay. So Raphael Weissman, some of you know him from previous years. He's doing an emotion code, body code demonstration. This is at my house from 5 to 7 p.m. He will demonstrate emotion code and body code, powerful tools for healing, inviting participants to receive spontaneous healing using these systems. Around the same time, we will also have a happy hour pub crawl and Von Paul studio tour. And so this is at Susan's Fine Wine and Spirits, right next door to where Mike and Shay and everyone will be, Hanifa, Jesse, and then Von Paul is also right there. So we have a happy hour pub crawl starting at 5 p.m. I will be at Susan's Fine Wine and Spirits. We'll be 1 block away from the artist Von Paul's studio and are welcome to join him at any point to view his latest creations. You can also reach out to me to set up an appointment with Von for a drop-in of his studio anytime during the week. There's also a 3 to 6 p.m. happy hour at Cowgirl. So if people are hungry, that's a little recommendation there. And then after 7, we will probably, I'll say we will head back to Center for Human Design for HD. So, yeah. Okay. Just had to type that in a little bit, make a little update there. So then we have the HDHD Salon, and that's going to be here. And this is Thursday evening for a salon style event at my house. Salons emerged in the 1500s, became popular throughout the late Renaissance and the Enlightenment periods as cultural hotbeds for the exchange of ideas, plus a lot of revelry. In fact, it seems every age has had their version of salons, harkening back to the ancient Greek symposia and beyond. Let's keep the salon tradition alive and well with a night of merriment, activities, and good conversation. Activities for the evening include finding your design with clay, led by Colin Ahrens. This will be a clay workshop. Um, natural wine tasting, which I'll be leading. And then we also have a live theater performance. And I think we're going to have a couple other things happen too. So this is just kind of the big ones we have scheduled. But yeah, it's going to be a fun evening. Colin will be providing clay for participants to have a guided exercise and a prompt to reflect on aspects of their design and respond using the material rather than words. The goal is for participants to find meaning and understanding through the experience with clay and enjoy the process. Colin's interest is in the connection between the somatic quality of clay, allowing a release of energy, combined with the self expression of it. Through this experiment, participants can learn about human design in a way that is tactile and experiential. And then we'll be doing wine tasting, a little info there, and then a live theater performance. I think we're going to do Madman and the Nun by Stanislav Vitkovits. So we're just going to do like a table read of the first act. We might do the whole thing. We've done the whole thing sometimes. It's just I'd rather do like the first act of that, and then if another group wants to do some, then they could. Yeah, there's a scene from somebody playing it. So it's a really good one. It's a favorite. And that brings us through day 2. So I'm going to be revising. I might even just combine. So right now we had 4 things at Ray's Country Gardens that day, and now we're down to 1. And I don't think like I'm trying to group more things together so people can kind of go and spend a sizable amount of time somewhere. I may just actually move the one thing at Ray's and just have Ray's be open that day. So I know I said earlier that we try to never not have something when we've had something there. That would be an exception because Ray's is just kind of a little bit far anyway. It's only 3 miles, so it's like a 7-minute drive, but it's not walkable like the rest of the places are. So we're either gonna fill up that space with other things, like to put 2 or 3 more workshops if other speakers decide they want to, or we're just going to combine Joe and Kalima's workshop into another venue because we could go a little bit later. We don't really have to end at 4 or 5. We could actually go to 6 for some of these. So yeah, we're going to figure that out. I'll get on that right away. That was just some sort of last minute changes that happened on that place. And then Friday, like I'm gonna take a little break, and then when I come back, we're gonna do Friday. So stay tuned. I wonder if I can put a little message that says I'll be right back. I wonder, does it let me like host tools, whiteboard? Here we go. New whiteboard. What? Okay. Um, what? Oh, here we go. We will be right back in minutes. Thanks for tuning in. Okay. I don't really know how to use these whiteboards, but I think that's hopefully everyone can see that. Um, wow, I zoom in on it. I know how to zoom in. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out. Oh, I want to make it big. How do I make the font big? Thank you. Okay, well, maybe I will try this other. So there's another whiteboard. Let me see. Just put a little message there. Let's see what we got. New whiteboard. Okay, it's a new one. Okay, cool. Okay, can I just type? We will, oh, there we go. Be back shortly. Thanks for tuning in. Be back shortly to continue looking at the HD schedule. And let's just make this big. Okay, that's too big. And okay, that doesn't work. Okay, I'll just make this a little smaller. Good. Get rid of that. Okay. I don't really know. Make sure that that's, let me check and make sure that's working so people can see that. Um, okay, there we go. Live stream. Okay, the live stream is a little bit delayed, so it's not showing yet. I just want to make sure that it shows up. Okay, it is. Good. Okay, perfect. Back in 8 minutes. Great. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Hey. Okay, I am back. Hopefully that was 8 minutes. So, okay, so we're going to keep looking at it's right in here. We're going to keep looking at the schedule. And I also have an exciting announcement. I'm going to be talking about this a bit in the next few days, or I guess more at the conference. But a few announcements. One, which I said earlier, some might have missed, is that this is not the last year of the conference. It's the last year I'm organizing it. So we do have new leaders and our new leadership. Some of you already know, it's not a big secret or anything, but I'm going to wait to do more of an official announcement on the first day of the conference. So that is Wednesday, September 17th at the opening meet and greet. We'll be introducing and talking about it, and I'll talk again on Friday and probably Sunday when we do like even a ceremony of some kind. TBD, but yeah, really excited about that because I love the conference and it was very bittersweet for me to announce it's my last year doing it, and I'm really excited that it's going to keep going. So super confident in the new leadership's ability to um, just keep to the spirit of it. And I see it as a non-dogmatic human design conference. Gene keys are welcome. Astrology, all of it, all mystical systems are welcome. We don't discriminate against mysticisms here. And then the other one is just a little teaser announcement. I do have a book. I finished my first book. I have like 10 half-finished books that never got out, but I actually somehow managed to finish one. It was easier to write and harder to do all the text layout formatting stuff than I had anticipated. I thought it would be hard to write and easy to format, and it was actually easier than I thought to get it to a place where I really liked it. And then it was just like painstaking weeks of like learning layouts and like fixing tabs and indentations and capitalization of things. And like it was the whole thing. But it is done. I am so relieved. You might tell from the video, I'm a little bit tired. Part of that is getting ready for the conference. There's a lot to do. Part of it is having finished this book and staying up last night to do the finishing touches, and this morning figuring out PDF conversion. And when I converted from facing spread layout to single page, it messed up all the formatting again, and just like, wow. But it's done. And I will be talking about what that book is about at the conference. And the book goes on sale September 17th. So the first day of the conference, it will be available to order from Amazon KDP. We're also going to get it on Ingram, and so it should be available. But yeah, basically self-published. My first book, it's like 252 pages, I think 230 pages of actual text. So fairly short. As far as books go, something like 53,000 words. And but I'm really happy with it and what it has, and it has some really cool stuff in it. I'm not going to talk about it yet because I want to give a little time to sort of formulate how I'm going to present it. And I'm hoping also that we'll get at least, I ordered 5 copies of advanced copies. Hopefully, an advanced copy will come in time. So that is something that I'm personally very excited about. I've never written a book before. I've tried many times, and really happy that that's finally done. And it is, oh, and it'll be on sale for $17, about 17.59. And I'm gonna also try to give the free audiobook to the people that buy at the conference. So I recorded 2/3 of the audiobook of just me reading it. I have to finish it. I just ran out of time and things have been so hectic. But once that's finished, I will send everyone who buys a book during the conference the audiobook as well for free, which is just me reading it in case you want to hear it in a car or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited to have that book coming out, and I'll have more info on that soon. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop back. There we go. Pop back over to, I guess this was my tab. And yep, and this is the schedule. And we are on Friday. Okay, so Friday, September 19th, third day of the conference. The Friday meet and greet is at Better Day Coffee, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's also at the same time as a reflector projector workshop. So if you're a reflector or a projector, I suggest going there. That workshop is at a venue with an 80-person capacity. So I really don't think we're going to have more than I mean, maybe we have 80 projectors. Actually, we probably do. We actually probably will have 80 reflectors this year. Yeah, I mean, sorry, projectors. We've had the most reflectors we've had, I want to say, is 8 or 9. And we actually get a lot of projectors, which is interesting. Statistically, it's sort of almost the inverse. It's like 30% generators and everybody else non-sacral. So, but anyway, it can handle a big room. So I hope that reflectors and projectors go there. That is Fred Landers and Marissa Charguloff. Reflectors and projectors only. Partners in play as the Phoenix Awakens. But of course, if you're not a reflector or projector, come hang out with us at the coffee shop, get a breakfast burrito, have a coffee. And so Fred Landers and Marissa Chargoloff, they're reflectors and projectors only, partners in play session, serving others through penetrating or sampling auras. Non-energy beings play unique roles in the coming cross of the sleeping phoenix. In this reflector and projector only workshop, we aim to explore and juxtapose our mechanics by playing a series of movement games designed to help claim our authentic relationship as allies. Wear clothes you feel comfortable moving in. Fred has required an RSVP for this, so I didn't have the heart to tell him that people tend to just show up for these things. No, I think if you can RSVP, please do. What's happened in the past, we did a bunch of RSVPs one year, and then like half the people who RSVP didn't come, and then a bunch of other people just showed up, and it's kind of, but it is nice, I think, to have a sense of who's coming, and it can be nice to RSVP. So if you're going to that, please RSVP. You can do so by sending an email to fredlanders73@gmail.com. Again, this is Friday, September 20th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I imagine there'll be a short break in there, maybe a lunch break. There's a few restaurants around there. It's right by Jumbo, which is really good African cuisine. And then we also, at that same location from 2 to 4, Shabala's second workshop. It is not required that you go to her first one, but it is different. So if you do go to her first workshop on Wednesday, you can go again to her second one on Friday. Or if you missed it on Wednesday, you can still go Friday. It is the Medicine of Human Design Journey Through Your Memories, Ready for Rebirth, Life Themes, and Nodal Deep Dive. Shabala shares her journey as a 3-5 sleeping phoenix and encourages you to get intimate with your life theme and nodal placements ahead of the 2027 shift. We'll leverage your unique placements in this deep dive workshop to help you unlock a new level of individuality. So meanwhile, if you went to the Friday meet and greet, if you're not at the Reflectors Projectors Only session, come over to my house, Center for Human Design here at 1739 Agua Fria. Please park at 2001 Agua Fria. It's a very short walk. We have very limited space. People who are not able to make the walk, we need to prioritize having those spaces for them. So obviously, if you have mobility issues, it's totally fine to park here, or if you're just not able to or don't want to make that walk. But just be mindful that we're just sort of prioritizing those who may have difficulty. It's a very short walk. It's literally like 4 minutes or 3 minutes, but maybe 5, depending how fast you walk, or if you know how to cut through the field. But okay, Robert Ray, Presence and the Practice of No Mind. So this is here at 11 a.m. on Friday the 20th. Robert Ray had a highly successful talk at HDHD 2024, which Chetan Parkin listed as his favorite of the whole event. He'll be revising his talk this year, exploring what presence is and how to achieve a state of no mind. I actually am going to go ahead and update with a better description. Ray sent me, and he reminded me today that he sent me an updated description, and I apologize for not getting that updated sooner. Okay, wait a minute. Um, hmm. Well, okay. I am not sure where it is, so I'm gonna have to find that later. I'm looking. He said he sent me something. I'm gonna have to ask him because I'm not seeing it in my. Oh, maybe it's here. Sometimes they get lost, like in a reply on a thread or something. I'm gonna look for that later. But in any case, he has an updated description for this, and he also stopped by today to fill me in. And he said he's actually printing out handouts of his talk, and he's going to do a short version because he actually has a really interesting experiment, almost like a social experiment. And he actually mentioned some props that he bought for the experiment. And Sounds really cool. So I was very interested based on what he said. But I think it's going to be really a good one, and I plan to be here for that and to experience that. And then starting in the afternoon, I'm going to be doing my human design cult talk, analysis of the bite model, which was my previous day talk, so the Thursday talk. So I'm going to do the same thing. That'll be here. And I'm going to do that talk again for those who missed it and sort of to give flexibility so people can kind of choose what they want to go to. And then I'm also going to do an introduction to the objective personality system for human design practitioners again, which is the Wednesday talk. So basically, I have a long form, like a 5 hour Wednesday talk, 5 or 6 hour workshop, really. And then I have the human design talk, which is a couple hours on Thursday. And then I'm going to do the whole human design cult talk plus the OPS, objective personality, in an abridged form for those who missed Wednesday. Or if you were there Wednesday and you just really love the system and want to keep going into it, and so on. So I'll be repeating the Thursday lecture on cultic tendencies, followed by a break, and then a repetition of the introductory lecture from Wednesday. So this is basically just if you missed those first 2 days, then you get that. Richard and Brandy have a Chiron, the Wounded Healer talk, location provided upon RSVP. RSVPs are full at this time, but I think there's a wait list. If people cancel, you can submit here is the link for it. And then, oh wait, yeah, no, that's not the link. Well, you can, oh, this maybe, yeah, this must be it. So name, email. So, but I believe it's waitlisted right now, and we will see if somebody drops out or if I don't think they can really fit more people there. And I think they have an ideal size to make sure everybody gets to do their own work. And I know that the people that have been signing up, I got to see some of the slides, some of what they're doing. And yeah, it's a very cool workshop. You can read about it here. It's how Chiron shows up in your chart, the unconscious story your wound has been telling, the sacred tension between wounding and wisdom, and insight into Chiron, kind of how to read Chiron. So yeah, so that's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The RSVPs are full as far as I know, but clicking, it didn't say that. But I think if you try to sign up, it'll say something like you're on the wait list. I could be wrong though. Maybe I'm wrong. So in any case, yeah, I'll be doing my 2 talks again. This is all after Ray, so you still have a chance to see Ray's talk. He doesn't really have anything opposite except for Fred Landers and Marissa's reflector projector only thing. So that is probably going to be pretty packed, but then everybody else can come here for presence and practice of no mind after our morning meet and greet. And then yeah, I'll be here in the afternoon. Richard and Brandy are doing Chiron. And then we also have Mike and Leanna Conley, and that's another workshop series, as well as Hanifa Adil. And so that's actually, oh, so there is something else at 10 a.m. So okay, that was my mistake then. So yeah, this does go all day. Sorry, 10 to 5. So we have morning and afternoon. And so this is Leanna Conley, Sacred Somatic Alchemy, Trauma Release and Rewilding Ritual, as well as Human Design Integration and Embodiment Circles. That's going to be 2 things. I imagine that'll go something like 10 to 1. Mike, I think he's doing global cycles from the Bronze Age to the present after lunch, or maybe even later in the afternoon, maybe 2. I'm not exactly sure how long Leanna is doing that. And I think his will be around an hour. And then Hanifa maybe will be 3 to 5 p.m., something like that. So I'll just say, yeah, I'll just put that there. 2, 3 p.m. And then that is perfect. And then it might be 10 to lunch and then 1 to 2 or 10 to 12:30, or I'm kind of leaving it up to the workshop facilitators to decide their breaks and things like that. So you can join Leanna for this workshop series of Sacred Somatic Alchemy, Trauma Release and Rewilding, a trauma-informed workshop blending breathwork, lymphatic flow practices, and sacred theater to release cellular imprinting and restore natural rhythm. And then Human Design Integration and Embodiment Circle, a guided session that helps participants connect the energetic mechanics of their chart with their lived somatic experience using storytelling, partner practices, and intuitive movement. These workshops will run in the morning and early afternoon, followed by Michael Steenbeck-Litvin presenting on global cycles from the Bronze Age to the present. The Bronze Age was the last time that the Sleeping Phoenix global cycle was in effect. And then in the afternoon, Hanifa Adil will present on the Cards of Destiny spreads of the year. And this is Cards of Destiny, also called Cards of the Magi. Two of the spreads there. In the evening, we have Ecstatic Dance with special guest Jalu, an ecstatic dance DJ and sacred space holder based in Southwest Colorado. A lifelong devotee of movement and music, she weaves artistry, mysticism, and the dance of light and dark into her sets. With each sonic journey, Jalu invites her community into a medicine space where rhythm becomes ritual and dance becomes transformation. She's a contemporary painter, visual artist, and DJ who will be bringing her audio selections for an intentional free-form movement practice of connection and self-expression. And then in the evening, we have Leanna Conley, Kala Tantra Yoga and Chakra Dance Ceremony, as well as Jerry Littlejohn, 64 Flutes, and a Friday night dance party with a very special surprise guest DJ all the way from Sydney, Australia. Hopefully that's not too much of a clue. People will know. No, I was mentioning earlier already. It's not really too much of a not too much of a secret, but we have Ramon Lopez, who is known for his music as Super Mini and has other monikers as well. And he's an incredible electronic producer at mostly Afro house and other, he does some like Latin house. Yeah, he did a really incredible remix of, remix sample working with the music of Airto Moreira. And yeah, that was a huge hit. It was like played at one of the biggest venues in Brazil on the strike of midnight of New Year's Eve this past year, and tens of thousands of people dancing to it. So he is a really incredible producer who's just played to audiences of thousands, held down weeklies at Ibiza nightclubs, plays all over Sydney, gigs like crazy at the top venues there. Pretty much the local favorite at they have a really great monthly there, and yeah, just an incredible DJ. And I'm just so excited. Well, I'm so happy to call him my friend, and then so excited that he's coming to the event, and then so excited on top of that that he agreed to play for us. So that will be really good. I think we're going to do Friday and Saturday if possible. So Friday 8 p.m. to 1, we're going to be doing yeah, Kala Tantra Yoga Chakra Dance, an embodied practice to awaken Kundalini energy, clear energy centers, and integrate human design. Awareness through breath, movement, and mantra. And then 64 Flutes, a supportive sonic experience utilizing the 64 flute set that was created in sync with the Rave Mandala. And then around 10 p.m., yeah, I'll hit the decks doing the warm up. And I'll say followed by a very special guest DJ. Come early, stay late. And yeah, here's a DJ set that I did. And now I just found out that simultaneous to this, Rashan Ahmad, the head of Vital Spaces, who are donating the art annex space that we're using for our lectures, workshops, he's having a dance party and he does really incredible music as well. And that's 8 to midnight. And so I'm going to actually make ours like 8 p.m. to, I think that's fine, to 1 a.m. That's fine. But you could actually go to this, like you could come, it was really close. It's a mile away. So you could basically come here or go there first, either way, and then come back here after. And yeah, Santa Fe's favorite DJ is added again with a free dance party at Tumbleroot, just a short walk or drive from Jonah's house. If you've been drinking, definitely walk. That's right. We have not one, but two dance parties within a mile of each other at the same time Friday night. Love and Happiness is a funk, disco, soul, and all-around good music event where you're sure to see a couple hundred of Santa Fe's dancers out in full effect. Feel free to party hop, cross-pollinate, and keep the vibe alive. So yeah, this is one of the funnest events in Santa Fe. It happens a few times a year. People always love it. They always go nuts. And people really dress up full disco style and like disco funk. Like it's a lot of fun. Motown, R&B, soul, really going to be a good one. And I'll probably go there too. I mean, I'll probably start the night off here, do the chakra dance ceremony, the 64 flutes, and then head over, do a little dancing at Love and Happiness, and then come back. I'll just be walking. So if anyone wants to walk with me, it's not a very far walk, and then dance there, and then come back here, and hopefully we'll get Ramon to DJ for round two. All right, sorry, that's still round one. Saturday will be round two. Okay. Day 4 of the conference, Saturday. This is some workshops I'm really excited about. Workshop series with special guest Hiba Judah, interviewed by Billy White. Sufi Human Design, The Origins, 10 a.m. to noon. Followed by Luisa Lucia, Illuminating 2027, The Science and History of Global Cycles, plus What to Expect as the Wheel Turns. That's 1 to 3 p.m., so there's an hour lunch break in there. And then Daljit Peterson, Countdown 2027, Breaking the Covenant from 3 to 5 p.m. That's all going to be right here in this very room. We have a nice 70-inch TV for crisp slides. Hiba Judah will be joining from the Middle East, where she is, and Billy, this is Billy in the picture here, he will be here. So he'll be here to interview her. Yeah, Billy's great. We met last year at Ibiza, and I'm so excited he's come here all the way from Ibiza, where he's lived for the past 14 years. Billy found Human Design in 2006 in Hawaii, has been practicing ever since. If you're going to the Ibiza event, be sure to ask Billy for tips to the great local restaurants and so on. Yeah, if you're going to be attending Return to the Magic Island, that is mid-October, third week of October. Hiba Judah is a Sufi psychologist specialized in the metaphysics of Andalusian Sufi grandmaster Ibn Arabi. Being a direct descendant of Ibn Arabi, she studied Sufi human design, cosmology, and law of time, the divine attributes, and the alchemy of creation. She constantly examines and refines the human condition by guiding others to their God selves using Sufi human design as a main tool and other healing modalities for integration. So this is about Sufi human design. And what she says about Sufi human design is this discipline was originally founded by Ibn Arabi 900 years ago in Ibiza, Spain. And I mentioned this in the earlier talk. This is like kind of controversial because what she's saying is long before Ra had his encounter with the voice of made human design, there was already something that was substantially similar or identical to human design that she calls Sufi human design, and based in basically a tradition from 900 years ago in Ibiza, of all places. So Ibn Arabi's entire knowledge is entitled The Order of Allahu, Hu, just like Ra, Ubu, Hu. And so that's interesting. I mean, just these connections, like, did Ra find a rare translation of some of this work and plagiarize it? Or are we being more charitable and saying that Ra basically, in his encounter with the voice, encountered the same source of knowledge that gave rise to Sufi human design 900 years ago? I mean, I have so many questions here. So I'm going to be at this one and definitely be curious and to hear what Hiba has to say. Sufi human design specifically is the mechanical formula for he who knows thyself knows God. Using cosmology as information, Sufi human design describes the divine blueprint found in our genes that connects us to our ancestral DNA, which forms the behavior and mechanics of our energy bodies. If we learn about our energy body, then we are able to remove ailment before it manifests in the physical body, because this tool exhibits how you think, how you feel, and how you react using the 64 divine attributes found as gene keys. It is able to transform the human experience from fear to trust and eventually self-love. Billy and Hiba will begin at 10 a.m., followed by a lunch break. And then we have Countdown 2027, Breaking the Covenant. And this is Luisa, because there she is, Luisa Lucia. And I was a guest on her Global Cycles class, very deep into the cosmology and science of human design, all this stuff. And as we approach the mutation of 2027, we stand at the precipice of a great unraveling, the dissolving of the covenant that has bound humanity in the era of the cross of planning. At the heart of this covenant lies gate 37, the gate of friendship, family, and the tribal contract with God. This gate, aligned with the archetype of Mitra, the divine keeper of contracts, has been the tribal glue holding our societies together under the umbrella of collective bargains, mutual protection, shared resources, hierarchical roles. But the program is shifting. The Godhead is changing from Mitra to Kali, from binding to releasing, from the maintenance of order to the churning cycle of death, decay, dissolution, and rebirth. As the gate 37 key that opened gate 25 lock loses its potency, the the covenant begins to fracture. This presentation explores the profound transition from tribal emotional circuitry into the rising frequency of individual emotional circuitry, from channel of community to channel of emoting, the 3740 to the 5539. We will trace the shift from gate 37, line 1, the mother-father familial foundations, toward gate 55, line 6, selfishness, divine arrogance, and individuated spirit, illuminating how the emotional waves mutating from communal bonding into an unpredictable, individuated spirit of mutation and transcendence. Breaking the covenant is not a rejection of the sacred. It is an invitation to release the contractual bindings with the Godhead of the past and enter a differentiated relationship with the Source. By following strategy and authority, we can navigate the dismantling of collective bargains and embrace a new mythos of individuated sovereignty. Expect a blend of mythological, esoteric, and technical perspectives, weaving human design mechanics with archetypal storytelling, evolutionary astrology, and symbolic ritual. Participants will understand the symbolic and mechanical role of Gate 37 as the gate of the covenant in the cross of planning era, explore the cosmological shift from Mitra, the god of contracts, to Kali, goddess of dissolution and rebirth in the post-2027 cycle, trace the mutation from tribal emotional circuitry into individual emotional within the solar plexus mutation framework, gain insight into the long arc of the line 6 transition, which goes from 2027 all the way to 2095 as a gradual process of dying out of the old order, and then explore practices for breaking the covenant through deconditioning, surrendering to strategy and authority, and embracing individuated consciousness. We just have a few pictures here. That's Billy White analyzing a body graph. We have Louisa, and then there's Daljeet. And did I somehow lose Daljeet's description? Breaking the covenant. Okay, that was Daljeet. So where's Louisa's description? I must have lost it. Okay, I apologize for that. I thought Louisa's was in there. So that was Daljeet. That's embarrassing. So, okay. So he's doing all the Godhead stuff. I need to find, she's totally sent me one, and I just need to find that. I don't know. Sometimes things get in there and then they get deleted, or, copying and pasting, moving things around. So I apologize for that. Yeah, it's very much people send me things, I paste them in, and that is how I do it. Okay, well, I'm not finding it right now, but I know that she really knows what she's talking about, and it's going to be, I'm going to ask her to send it again so I can find that. But yeah, I know it's going to be a really good one from having attended her class. She did locks and keys. Yeah, so it looks like she's looking more at scientific and historical perspectives. Just copy that in. Well, I will update this later. I'm not live. So that one looks really, really good. And I mean, the whole series is just to me really exciting. I also really want to know about warm data, and I'm hoping that this can be. I may have to jump over. Well, God, so there's so much good stuff. I have a hard time with this too, because I really want to do a lot of these. So the warm data, human design meets warm data. This is Merritt Buccina's second talk. That goes 10 a.m. to noon, and that is at Rubedo Counseling. Merritt will present in the morning on Nora Bateson's concept of warm data and complexity theory and how that relates to human design. Following Merritt's presentation and a lunch break, Jeff will be leading a discussion on human design, new religious movements and beliefs, and then I will join for the afternoon session. So yeah, you can read more about warm data. It's there's some links here, the warm data lab, the people need people framework. These are developed by Nora Bateson, and can learn about what yeah, this is very interesting stuff. This is Nora Bateson, um, an award-winning filmmaker, writer, facilitator, and educator, president of the International Bateson Institute in Sweden. And her work asks the question, how can we improve our perception of the complexity we live within so we may improve our interaction with the world? I'm going to share this with my friend right now. Just before I forget, I think he really needs to attend this. our speakers is Laura Bates and data. I'm going to share it with them. Yeah, I'm just going to share the info really quick. So that is 10 a.m. to noon. Okay, I'm just sharing 10 noon, and that is Saturday, September 20th. Okay, so anyway, that looks like a really good one. And I sent it to my friend there. Human design meets warm data. Who can you be when you are with me? Who can I be when I am with you? Don't ask yourself, who am I, but rather, who are you? Um, warm data is a new way of celebrating life through mutual learning and conversation that allows us to perceive across the complexity of multiple perspectives and contexts. So, yeah, to meet the complexities of the world we face today, we need new approaches that help us navigate this complexity. The Warm Data Lab experience is a way to learn to think in complexity by doing something that we already know how to do, share our story. So, yeah, it looks really, really interesting. Um, I don't know. Okay. So, okay, warm data. There's some links here you can check out. I'm just catching up on a few. I just, if I, at this point, if I don't just immediately do something, it will. Wait, is Nora Bateson Gregory Bateson's daughter? Wow. Oh yeah. Wow. Wait, Nora Bateson. Okay. Wow, I didn't realize that. Yeah. What an interesting person. That's yeah, in the Bateson Institute. And he's 57 years old. Okay. Yeah, I really want to attend that. This is the problem I always have. It's like I schedule things and then I like read about it more and I'm like, oh, I really want to be there and then I can't. So I'm hoping some of this stuff is recorded and I'm hoping that sometimes what'll happen is if the speakers have energy, they will spontaneously repeat one of their sessions. Like maybe Merritt will want to do a warm data session on Sunday because we have a lot of open time on Sunday, or maybe it'll be Saturday night and she'll do a quick one, or who knows what. So a lot of different possibilities there. There's a photo of Jeff. I will be joining Jeff for his discussion, Jeff Holman, for his discussion about what is it that I believe? Is human design a religion? And questions of that nature, which is a good question as well. Okay, we are going to wrap up very, very soon here. I just want to kind of go through the rest of these. So in the afternoon on Saturday, we have Shay LeBay Rawhead Block Print Textile Workshop, as well as Christy George, Awareness Integration Apparatuses Artist Talk. She's an artist who's used human design in her work. And Kathy Bachanko, Embodied Joy, Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Joy, a movement experience for radical self-trust. And then, so the workshop will be 4 to 6, the artist talk is 4 to 5, and the movement experience is 5 to 6. So you can attend part of the Rawhead Block Print Textile Workshop because it's almost more like open hours. Like you can bring clothing and get prints put on your clothing. So that way you could do one of these, right? It's kind of like you can yeah, it's they're scheduled kind of around the same time, kind of festive that way. And then from 6 to 8, we have Robert Ray doing a tarot swirl. And that has a maximum of 13 participants, just so people know. And go ahead and share this again. Okay, that's Shay LeBay. There's Kathy Bachanko. She'll be leading the movement exercise. Shay will be doing the block print workshop. Christy George, I Amplify hair trumpet. She's an artist, and these are some of her human design inspired art. This is Device for an Open Throat, 2023. Raised and fabricated red brass, yellow brass, patinated steel, 12 inches by 6.5 by 5.5 inches. She has some other cool ones. That evening, there's also a special manifestor only meetup hosted by Sing. And so that is just sort of a manifest way of manifestors to hang. And then there's the Synergia Ranch potluck that goes from 6 to 9. Synergia is an intentional community founded in 1969 in Santa Fe, New Mexico, with an incredible group of mutative, brilliant individuals working in such areas as climate science and psychedelic research. They also have an art gallery in London, an avant-garde theater troupe, and a ship, the Heraclitus, which has sailed the seven seas. No joke, these people are on a whole different wavelength. So yeah, you can read about the rest of that there. I've been talking a lot about this, so hopefully people have kind of heard about it. I've been talking about it in the Telegram. And this is not an HDHD event. We've just told them that we're going to be bringing some people from HDHD, but still, please RSVP if you're going to go to potluck. We need to bring some food and drinks. I'm going to bring fixins for margaritas. It's also a really great evening for stargazing. Saturday and Sunday night, around the new moon, are just a really nice time for stargazing. Yes, that's the best to do. And so I think later that night, we're going to have round two of Ramon DJing if he's up for it. So we will have, yeah, this is Synergia. And then when we come back, probably like 9 to midnight or 9 to 1, we'll have a little Saturday dance party with Ramon. We may do might do a little jazz music, 9 to 10, um, something like that. And then probably a sake tasting as well. So we'll do that. Just announced sake tasting with Fujio Mandeville and jazz, live jazz, and special guest DJ. Free Street. Details for great. Great. Okay. Sunday. Wow. So Sunday, I think we're going to add a few more things because it's still pretty open, but we kind of left it that way on purpose because people are usually pretty relaxed and they kind of want to have just a mellow day for our last day. And but we do have some workshops. So we have Hanifa Adil Pluto workshop that's here at Center for Human Design. That's 10 to noon, followed by Hilda Holman Come Crown Your Ajna hat making workshop. This is a paid one for the materials, and these hats do collapse flat. The fee is $25, which goes to the materials. And as you can see, these are pretty wild and they end up looking really, really cool. And I might talk to Hilda and see if she wants to do one earlier. In fact, I'm going to add that as a list, as a note, so that way people can wear them at the parties. Ask Hilda to do a second earlier workshop. Yeah, because if people have, a chance to make these and then wear them at parties, it's even better. And they do collapse flat, which is cool. We have a workshop series over at Ray's Country Gardens on Sunday that begins with Leanna Conley with a silent walking meditation and earth attunement. That's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then we have Carl Kalaman, The Nine Waves of Creation in the Mayan Calendar System, 11 to 1. Matthew Flasher, Alternative Views of the 2027 Global Cycle Shift. This is going to be a second version of this talk. He's doing the first on Wednesday now. And then John Turt, well, it's the same talk, but it'll give you more of a chance to experience it. And I also have a little addition to the description because he's going to be talking about plasmoid physics and some really cool, interesting stuff there. And then John Terzi is doing a tea party from 4 to 5 p.m. And that's a maximum of 17 attendees. He'll be leading a tea meditation and tea tasting experiment between human design types, as well as tea blending based on energy type and authorities, and a short introduction to tea leaf reading. So only 17 people can do that. I don't know if he wants to do an RSVP. I think it's going to be more just like people that are there, sort of like start getting ready. Hopefully it'll be fine because it's Sunday. It's hard to know. But yeah, that's a maximum of 17 attendees. So Carl Kalleman, an author of 6 books, and he's a scientist. Well, he's I think like a virologist or something who then got really into archaeology and anthropology, I guess more anthropology than archaeology, but learning about the Maya people and trying to figure out based on like visiting their archaeological sites, their temples and things to start to put together theories of their how their philosophy sees time and this idea of time waves. So here's a graphic from one of his books showing time waves, showing the sixth wave, the seventh wave, the eighth wave going very quickly. There's the ninth wave. And so each wave sort of goes faster than the previous. And this is the Mayan time wave theory developed by Dr. Kellerman. And there's a picture of John Terzi with a quote about tea. Tea cannot be learned from a book, only from the heart. So that'll be a really nice series. So Carl Kalleman, Matthew Flasher doing alternative views of 2027. Leanna starting the whole thing with a walking meditation and earth attunement, and then a tea party at the end. That's like a really solid workshop series, if you ask me. But for those not going to that, you're welcome to come make wild hats. Come see Hanifa's Pluto workshop. That's kind of its own little workshop series. And then, Hanifa's Pluto workshop. That's probably where I'm going to be that morning. Or no, that's right. I always think I'm like I kind of forget how much I sign myself up for. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be there. Then I'm like, no, I have a talk. That's right. Okay, so Jonah Dempsey and guests, we're doing a symposium on personality typology earlier in the day, and then Kyrie Joyce will be doing source point, movement, and meditation in the afternoon at Vital Spaces. So the symposium on personality typology will have guests, including Lena Larson. I'm going to add her here. And probably I'm hoping Marissa will join me for that. I have to talk to some of my typology people. Some of the students I had of OPS, like basically, if you're into Enneagram, objective personality, or attitudinal psyche, you can kind of be on the panel. If not, I mean, you can still be in a discussion. Like this is going to be more of an open discussion and overviews of these. Um, yeah, and we're going to give brief overviews of these as well for people who missed the others. And then there's going to be a workshop on source point therapy with movement and meditation. That's Kyrie Joyce. These are some of the graphics, some of the systems. In the afternoon, from 5 to 7, we have Krista Bauman, Introduction to Mayan Astrology, sharing her love of Mayan astrology. You can come find out your Mayan sign and learn about what it means. That's at her home, which is a short walk from my place. Then we have Rubedo counseling wide open that day, and I sort of want to keep it open if we can help it. But if we need to move anything there, or if you have last minute additions, that's another location that has been graciously made available to us. Thank you, Diana Langberg, for that. Diana's she's been really helpful last year and this year, and just in general. And we really, really appreciate that. And then there's also GJ Wagner has invited people. Well, invited, I say it kind of loosely. I mean, she's offering a workshop at her home for $25. And so that's another paid one. You can read about that here. This is GJ. She is 93 years old. And yeah, she's been very deep into rave cosmology, human design for quite a long time. And then if you look at the schedule, you can see there's some location notes here. There's recommended restaurants, info about the locations, where you can park, the short walk to my home. Well, Google Maps is saying it's 7 minutes there, but you can actually park closer in the parking lot and go through the field. And then a little message here at the bottom. So yeah, that is the schedule. I can't believe we got through all of it and in under 2 hours this time for doing most of it. But it's a lot, and there's a few last minute additions as well. Trying not to have any subtractions at this point because obviously it's pretty set in stone as far as these things can be. But yeah, going to be doing a few more additions like the jazz night, sake tasting led by Fujio. And yeah, it's just crazy. It's like Burning Man. I don't know if people have been to Burning Man, but you go there and you get this like book of like 8,000 things to do. And it's like, what do I do? But there's always going to be something going on. And a lot of it is just sort of emergent and self-managing. And there's always like things that aren't on the schedule. A lot of people have asked me about Genoa Livin. He is not on the schedule, but he is around, and he said he wants to do something through the Sagebrush Radio. So get a hold of me if you want to hear about that. If you're in town early, I would also recommend going to his partner Lucito's Enneagram Talk with myself and Lena. And that is Monday, this coming Monday. So anyway, lots going on. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And I will be doing another one of these Zooms very soon. And yeah, as always, any questions, shoot me an email, join the Telegram group, post on there.